The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Sohail, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Hello everybody, good evening from Doha. This is Sunita Sham, the training programs manager from QNRF. I am very happy to meet you all today through this webinar and very excited to introduce two brand new programs of QNRF to you. The two new programs that I will be talking about today are GSRA, which is a Graduate Student Research Award, and PDRA, which is a Postdoctoral Research Award. So today's presentation, I will start by introducing the two programs, one after the other. The first one will be the GSRA, and the second one I will introduce to you will be the PDRA. I will talk about the program objectives, the program the overview, the program design, and also walk you through the process and update you on the timeline of both of the programs. Next, I will talk in detail about the online application process, which should answer most of your questions regarding how you would actually go about submitting the proposal online. I will introduce this section to you with screenshots for every step along the way, and hopefully this will clarify any questions that you might have. If you would be patient and let me complete the whole presentation, then we will have the Q&A session where you can ask your questions to me directly, and I will try to answer all of them today. Moving on to the Graduate Student Research Award, first and foremost in detail. Program objectives include, first of all, developing graduate student capability in Qatar. Now, we already have, through QNRF in Qatar, many different programs. We have programs for undergraduates, junior scientists, researchers, and also for the senior scientists through our NPRP grants. But this program, we are hoping would develop the graduate student capability. By graduate students, we actually mean PhD students at this point, and from approved programs and institutions in Qatar. This program, we hope, will promote research-based graduate PhD programs and studies in Qatar. Start of such programs and, improving them would be one of the primary goals. This program will also expand research culture and increase research capacity. It will also provide opportunity for faculty to identify outstanding graduate PhD students. The program is designed in such a way that it is highly competitive, and it would be an ideal venue to locate outstanding graduate students and bring them over to Qatar. This, of course, will also fulfill the requirements of the QNRS, which is the Qatar National Research Strategy, and address all the important questions that are of primary importance and concern to Qatar. Program overview. These awards will all be made to the institutions, the submitting institutions inside Qatar, to support their own nominees for that program for the cycle. GSRA supports both local and international graduate student applicants. So by this we mean students who are already here in Qatar who could be even enrolled in any graduate program already, approved program, as a PhD student. Or they could also be international and they could be applying to Qatar for these approved programs, and all of them are eligible to apply for this support. All the approved programs are actually for research-based studies in approved institution in Qatar, so it should be a research-based PhD. The duration of the award is for 4 years, and there could be a possible extension of two semesters if requested by the submitting institution with appropriate justification. There will be 2 cycles of this program per year. The funding amount is actually up to USD 15,000 per year for tuition. The stipend is separately calculated for each student at $42,000 per year. And this also entails additional benefits, which include housing, insurance, and travel, and also any education allowance for dependent students. Additional retention allowance for Qatari nationals are 8% of the funding. Now, miscellaneous costs will include any textbooks to be purchased, laptop. There will also be 1 international conference per year per graduate student. As I said, the benefits also include family allowance category, which will include travel, insurance, and education for dependent children. Now, the eligibility criteria. The student should first of all be accepted in an approved PhD program inside Qatar. Now, I will in the next coming slides also let you know what are the approved PhD programs to clear that confusion. But first of all, the student should be accepted in a PhD program as per the program guidelines and requirements, and that is actually a process that will be done by the submitting institution outside of our system. Once the student is decided upon, they will be nominating the student, and this will be done by the advisor of the student as part of the application process. Now, the eligibility criteria for these students is that they will have a prior master's degree, and in case the submitting institution policy is different and they do accept a bachelor's degree or something like that, the restriction will be waived based on the request and justification. Each student may only be nominated by 1 institution for an award in each funding cycle. Now, to walk you through the pre-award process in more detail, it all starts with the student. Now, the student will first apply to the submitting institution. The graduate school admission will decide based on their eligibility criteria whether the student is acceptable. And once he or she has been accepted for a PhD, then the process begins. The student, of course, will express an interest to receive any funding, and once the advisor and the student interact and they decide to apply for GSRA, the process starts in our system. So the student and the advisor will actually do this process together. And I will walk you in more detail through this process right now, and then I will come back to this flowchart to complete the whole process, pre-award process. The submission of the GSRA proposal will actually take place in the Q grant system of QNRF. Now, GSRA proposal registration begins with the academic advisor, who will first access a Q grant and start the GSRA proposal. Once he starts, I'm going to show you in future slides screenshots for each of these steps, but this is to give you an overview of the whole process so that you understand it better. So after accessing the Q grant, the advisor will start the GSRA proposal and add the student to the proposal. This is a primary step, one of the first mandatory steps that he or she will do. And the student must already be registered in our online submission system to be added. So first of all, both the advisor and the student need to be registered before any process can start in our system. Now, once a student is added to the proposal, then the proposal registration can be finished by the advisor. So this is just the first step where the proposal is registered at this point. Now, after registration, the proposal now needs to be prepared, and this is done by both the advisor and the PhD student. So the PhD student, for example, in his or her own channel, they would first log in. They would be able to go into proposal preparation for this particular proposal, since the advisor has already added him or her to the proposal during the registration step. At this stage, the student logs in and can access a Q grant after logging in and adds the following documents. Of course, he or she can also edit their profile at any point, add anything, edit any of the already existing documents, and also add or delete dependents depending on the situation. And the following documents will be added for each proposal. Now, the graduate student will actually have 2 essays to upload. There will be transcripts that can be uploaded, and also 2 mandatory reference letters that need to be uploaded. Once all of these steps are completed, then the student will submit the proposal online. At this stage, the proposal is still not submitted to QNRF. It is not a complete submission. This is only the student section being completed. Now this proposal at this point goes to the advisor. So the advisor now will need to complete the proposal submission to QNRF finally. Now here the advisor will add the research plan. The advisor doesn't have too many things to add, but the research plan technically should have been worked on by both the student and the advisor, and this will be uploaded by the advisor to the submission channel. After this, and after the student has also completed all the submissions, only at this point can the advisor submit the GSRA proposal finally. And after submission, it will go to the RO for vetting, the research office inside Qatar, who will be vetting the proposal. Only after this, QNRF will start processing any application. Now going back to the previous flowchart and to continue the entire process of the pre-award. As I told you, after submission, it goes on to the research office for proposal vetting. After this, after the vetting, QNRF takes over. We have an internal screening process initially, and once the screening is completed, all the proposals that have completed screening will now go on to the next step, which is the evaluation of the application. Now for GSRA, we will have a panel evaluation, and based on the panel recommendations, we will have the final announcement of awards. Now this is the entire pre-award process in a nutshell. To give you an idea a bit more about the planned annual award schedules for this program, proposal submission is actually going to be an ongoing submission channel throughout the year. So at any point, anyone can submit an application. Of course, the advisor and the student together, and the vetting by the research office can also be done at any point through the year. And the awards will be announced twice a year. The first one will be in February, and the next one will be in August. Now, annual reports, once the awards are announced and the proposals start, they will be due annually, beginning a year after the project starts. Timeline for the first cycle. As I said, the proposal submission and vetting will be ongoing. We opened and launched the GSRA program on the 23rd of September, and the channel will remain open throughout the year for submissions. However, for the first cycle, the proposals which are all submitted and vetted by the deadline of the 2nd of December 2013 will be considered for the competition. So all of the proposals submitted and vetted once again by the 2nd of December will be considered for the first cycle. Announcement of the results will be in early February 2014. Talking a bit about the available programs which are approved by QNRF and by Qatar Foundation R&D will be these 3 programs. Qatar University PhD in Engineering program, Qatar University's PhD in Biological and Environmental Sciences program is also an approved program. The third and final program is HBKU Kiri, PhD in Sustainable Energy program. This is a new program just launched recently, and will entail students from the Hamad bin Khalifa University working along with the Qatar Energy and Environment Research Institute. It's a PhD in Sustainable Energy. Moving on to the next program, it's the Postdoctoral Research Award, or PDRA. Program objectives include developing postdoc capabilities in Qatar. As I told you, we are looking to add more researchers, including graduate students and postdocs, by these 2 programs. This will also allow us to expand the research culture and increase research capacity in Qatar. This will provide an excellent opportunity for any faculty or researchers in Qatar to identify outstanding postdocs that meet their research needs and have them in Qatar, attract outstanding international postdocs to Qatar, and fulfills all the requirements once again of the Qatar National Research Strategy. Overview of the program. PDRA supports postdoctoral scholars to work in areas that are of national priority to Qatar. It will attract and promote recent PhD holders to engage in further research work in Qatar. The financial support is for 2 years originally. It can be extended for 1 additional year based on the submitting institution request on justification. Funding awards will be paid to and administered by the submitting institution in Qatar. The funding is actually for US dollar 72,000 per year plus additional benefits, which includes travel allowance, housing, education for children, insurance, etc. Qatari nationals will have an additional retention allowance of 8% of the funding amount. Allowable miscellaneous costs will include costs for one planned conference trip per year. Family allowance includes travel, insurance, and education allowance for dependent children, as I said. Eligibility for this program, candidates will have a PhD degree, and if they are not earned it, they will earn it within 9 months of award announcement. And nomination per candidate is only by one institution for an award in each funding cycle. Once again, to quickly walk you through the pre-award process, the process is fairly similar to the process of GSRA. It's very similar, but I'll quickly walk you through this just to refresh your memory. It starts once again with the postdoc who will submit the application to the submitting institution inside Qatar, and upon acceptance and any interest to apply for funding, the postdoc and the mentor who is identified with the submitting institution will submit the application together. Again, the process is very similar to GSRA. The mentor initiates the process, and then once the proposal is registered, both the mentor and the postdoc will have to complete the submission process in their respective channels, and only then will the mentor be finally able to submit the proposal for RO vetting. Once the mentor submits the proposal, the research office can view the proposal and check all the details and enter the funding information, and then vet the proposal. Upon vetting, it then comes to QNRF, we will start by internal screening process, and all the proposals which pass screening will be sent to the next stage for evaluation of the application. Once again, it's a panel review, and based on the panel recommendations, we will have the final awards announced by QNRF. Planned award schedules. The proposal submission once again is ongoing. Throughout the year, proposals can be submitted and vetted. Award announcements will be twice a year, once in April and once in October. Once again, annual reports will be due yearly, 1 year after award commencement. Timeline for the first cycle. We are actually starting, and the channel is open from today, from 30th October 2013. So PDRA is now officially open in our channel, and proposals can be submitted. The channel will remain open, but the proposals which are completely submitted and vetted by the 22nd of January 2014 will be considered for the first cycle. Announcement of the results for the first cycle will be in April of 2014. Now we will talk a little bit detail about the online application. I have already given you an overview of the process, but the intention is to also give you some screenshots. So we hope the process will be much easier once you have seen this section of the presentation. Now here I will divide my presentation of this part once again into two. The first channel I'll talk about is the advisor-mentor submission channel, and the next section I'll talk about the student or the postdoc submission channel. So keep in mind that both these have to be completed for a proposal to be fully submitted, and the proposal cannot be submitted if any one channel is missing any information. We will start with the advisor or mentor submission channel. This is the login page. So for Q grants, for these two programs, you will log in here, and if you are a new user, please register using this link right here as a new user registration. Once you have logged in, this is a dashboard that the advisor or the mentor would see. Now this dashboard, you can go to proposals and click on start proposal to initiate the process of submitting, registering the proposal as a first step. Once the mentor or advisor clicks on start proposal, he or she will be directed to this page. And here, once again, you will have to click on Start Proposal Registration next to GSRA Cycle 1 so that you can actually register the proposal for this cycle. Now once you click on Start Proposal Registration, this is the page that the advisor or mentor would see. Now the submitting institution is captured by our system based on the registration of the user. So in this case, it's just a test institute, and similarly, any person who's already registered in our system, the submitting institution is captured and it will be given here clearly in this page. Now this is the primary step and a very important step. The student email. So since the advisor already knows who's the student he or she is nominating, they do have the email ID of the student, and the student should also be registered in our system already. So once the advisor or the mentor puts the name of the student or the postdoc, as the case may be, and clicks on load details, he or she will see something like this. Here the system has captured the details of the student based on their email ID with which they have registered in our system. So now this student or the postdoc is associated to this particular proposal. Next, the advisor or mentor will also fill in all the other mandatory fields that are required in this page. This includes program type, program field of study, QNRF compliance details, and also the research area, specialty, subspecialty, and research type details. They will also have to enter 5 mandatory keywords, research area keywords. Once this is all done, the advisor or mentor will click on Register Proposal right here. Once the proposal is registered, this is a confirmation page that the advisor or mentor can view immediately. So here there are details of the proposal, including the proposal ID, and the student or the postdoc, as the case may be, will be notified by email based on this registration. The advisor or mentor is also requested to contact the student or postdoc and ensure that the submissions are completed in a timely fashion. Now the advisor could go to proceed to proposal preparation or do it at a later stage. Once he or she starts with proposal preparation, this is the first page they would view. These are all the available tabs on the left-hand side corner. They have an overview tab which gives the proposal history and all the proposal information which is captured during the registration of the proposal. The next tab is a research plan. Now here the advisor or mentor would only upload the completed research plan file. So here once again it needs to be worked on by both the advisor or mentor and the graduate student or the postdoc together. So it's basically prepared by both, but it will be uploaded only by the advisor or the mentor. During the uploading, one of the other things I want to point out is that once the user browses and attaches the file, there will be a blinking yellow dot. And at this stage, please wait, because the system is actually verifying to make sure that it is the correct type of file and of the correct file size, allowable file size. In case there is any problem, there is going to be a red dot which indicates that the file is wrong in some way. It's a wrong file type or the size exceeds the limit. And in this case, please try to upload a different file or try uploading again. In case everything is fine and the system has verified, the green dot would appear this way and you are all set to upload. So after this green dot appears, you can click on upload and this is done. The next section is the student profile right here. The tab here will take you to the student profile. Now student profile tab will allow the advisor to view all of the student information. This is actually all the details of the student, the dependents and CVs and all kinds of things. So this is a general registration details of the student. The next tab is student documents. Student documents, as you can see here, in case the student has not submitted yet, the advisor or mentor doesn't have anything to view yet at this point. So the status is not yet submitted, and the return for modification tab is inactive here because the student hasn't submitted in the first place. But if the student has submitted, the advisor or mentor can view all of the documents and all the details submitted by the student, and they can also return to the student or the postdoc for any modifications. Now, if the advisor or mentor clicks on submit proposal at this stage, if the student or the postdoc has not completed and submitted, they will not be able to submit anyway, because the research plan section is done, but the student section is still incomplete and they have not submitted his or her sections. And hence the submit proposal tab here is inactive at this stage. Once a student or postdoc has also completed submissions, this is how you would see it. The research plan is done, student sections are also done, and everything is complete. At this stage, the submit proposal tab is also active, and the advisor or mentor can go ahead and submit the proposal if everything is fine. Once he clicks on submit proposal, the system also gives a warning message which actually indicates that this action cannot be undone, and if the advisor or mentor is sure of submitting it at this stage. Once he or she clicks on yes, he or she will be directed back to the dashboard. Now the student or postdoc submission channel. Now as you know, this is a parallel process, and the student or postdoc will also have to complete this submission process through their channel as I'm walking you through this. Only then will the mentor or advisor be able to submit finally. So this once again is the dashboard. From the dashboard, the student or postdoc will click on proposals and click on proposal preparation. So this is the page that they would view, and here they will click on start proposal preparation against the new proposal that has been registered by the advisor or the mentor. So it gives the proposal number, the title, and the status, and this tab is active, this link is active which says start proposal preparation, and this is where the student or the postdoc would click on. This will take them into this particular proposal preparation channel. The first two tabs here, I haven't put screenshots for them because they're basically an overview tab which allows them to see the details of the proposal at the registration stage, given at the registration stage. They can also view the advisor profile by using this tab. So at this, of course, they can't change anything, any of the information, or edit any information. It's only for mentioning the details of the advisor. Now, once the student clicks on student profile, it takes them to this page where there is the details as entered during the registration of the user in our system, and the student can go to the My Profiles tab right here. Once he or she clicks on it, they can actually go and edit any of the information, including the dependence information and details. That's the student profile section which we just spoke about. The next tab will take the student to the student transcripts section. Now here the student can enter the qualification name given the master's and so, the institution which they received the degree from, the duration when they work for the degree at the institution, subjects in brief, grades or GPA, and they can also upload the transcripts. Once again, the blinking yellow dot, green dot or red dot situation. So please make sure that you give a few minutes for the system to identify and verify the document, and then usually the green dot would appear, and then you can save and proceed to the next section. Now you can also add new data. So once you have added one transcript with all this information, there is also an add new tab that will be available to you to add more transcripts to this proposal. The next tab is a student essay. Now here in this section, there are two essays that the graduate student will be asked to upload. This is the research interest essay and the research background essay. So once again, during uploading, please wait for the dots, and once you get the green dot, you're ready to upload. And once you've uploaded, before submitting, it can always be edited again. So if you want to just make some changes and upload the document again, you can remove the old one and upload a new document. And this is fine until before you submit. This is how it will appear. Once the green dots appear, you can upload it. Moving on to the next section, this is the student reference letters. Now for the GSRA, there are two references to be uploaded, two reference letters, and for PDRA, for the postdocs, there will be 3 mandatory references to be uploaded. Now so here, Once again, the details required for each reference are name of the reference, title, affiliation of the reference to his or her institute, email ID, and professional or academic relation to the candidate, and then uploading of the reference letter itself. Now the preview proposal tab will allow the student to go through the proposal history and all the information just for a verification step. And once he or she clicks on submit proposal, if all the sections are done, it will be notified here saying student profile is done, transcripts are done, essay is done, and the reference letters are also done. In case of any section being incomplete, it will be notified here in red, and the student can go back and update that section before completing the submission process. Now once everything is done, the student will click on submit proposal, which ends the submission process after this verification step by the system. So once again, the system will warn the student or the postdoc saying this action cannot be undone, and if they are sure that they want to submit with whatever has been already uploaded, the documents and the information given. Once the student clicks on yes, it is submitted and the student will be directed to the dashboard. Now after this step is where the advisor would complete the final submission. So I already discussed with you regarding in the advisor or the mentor channel how they will do the final submission step after the student or the postdoc is done with their submission. So please link this continuation to that section right there. So that's all about the submission process and the actual screenshots of the channel, how it's going to look, and what are the sections to be completed by the advisor or mentor and by the student or the postdoc. Now let me move on to Q&As. So if you have any questions, I'm going to take them right now. So please use the raise your hand tab, and I will click on them one by one, and I will let you ask the question. I hope everyone can hear them, and then I will give you the response. Okay, Mr. Muhammad Dawood. Yes, please tell me, what is your question?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm asking if I would like to apply for the GSRA
Yes.
in PhD engineering, okay?
Okay.
I should start to apply in Qatar University at the beginning.
Currently, Qatar University has this approved program. They have a PhD in engineering, which includes many subspecialties. So yes, you could start applying there. You have to apply with Qatar University based on their eligibility criteria. Once you're accepted.
Actually, my question, yeah, I got it. But actually, my question is that your deadline is December the 2nd, okay?
Yes.
And the admission results at Qatar University for this cycle will be announced in January.
Yes, I know.
So
we did have a discussion with them. We did have, consult with them before we decided on this. The reason why we have the deadline earlier in December is to accommodate giving the funding as early as possible, because you're also starting in February if you're admitted. So if the funding decision is delayed until March or April, then that's going to be a problem also. So we worked along with Qatar University. We informed them of this, and we, discussed what could be possible deadlines. So December 2nd.
Actually, two programs of the three programs for PhD belongs to Qatar University. Okay.
Yes.
So you will forbid a large number of applicants to catch this cycle.
Yes. Well, we do have until December 2nd. Their submissions also open early October. So they did say that some of the students could be shortlisted even by December 2nd, and those students will be able to apply for the first cycle. They will be taken into consideration for the first cycle. We are doing the best to accommodate the, the funding timeline. That's not the issue.
That's what I mean. You can even postpone your deadline a little bit, or asking Qatar University to make some exceptions for people who want
That's
to
what we have
join
done.
the GSRA.
That's what we have done. We have asked Qatar University to keep this in their mind, the deadline of the December 2nd, and whatever students they've already shortlisted, they will be eligible to apply if once they have located an academic advisor.
Okay, so
Okay.
I can apply now and
Yes, yes.
waiting for okay.
Please express your interest in GSRA and let them know, remind them of the December 2nd deadline. And if you can
Okay.
submit before that and have the RO vetted, then of course you will be considered for the first cycle.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank
Okay?
you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay.
I have another question from Mr. Mahmoud Srout. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said it right. Please go ahead.
So thank you actually for the presentation and all the information you gave us. Actually, I got this question. I'm a Moroccan candidate for the Graduate Student Research Award.
Okay.
And I just have this question concerning the documents, like the education system here in my country, Morocco, like all the documents are in French or Arabic. So I was wondering if I need to make translation for all my transcripts and make reference letters in English, or I could still apply with my French documents. Thank you.
Yes. Ideally, we would like everything to be in English because it becomes much easier for the review process. So the reference letters definitely I think would be better in English, and if the degree and the other things can be translated, then that would be the way to go. But if you do have a problem with translating the main degree certificates and so on, please upload what you have, and you can always let us know more details about it by uploading it in other areas. You can give us more information.
Actually, it's just a question of time. If I need to translate them officially, it will just take more time, and like I might be kind of late of the deadline. That's why I'm asking this question.
Okay, yeah, as I said, if there is no way and you're going to be late, please do go ahead and submit what you have, and we'll try to do the best.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next I have Ms. Simona Azali. Yes, go ahead. Simona? Simona, are you there? Okay, let me move on to Tingwen Huang. Hi, please go ahead with your question. Huang?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I just wonder, for the post program, the post themselves have to submit the reference letters themselves, or the reference will submit the letters?
The references will actually give you the letters. You will have a copy in PDF format, and you will have to, as a postdoctoral scholar, enter all the information about the reference, their affiliation, email ID, and all those details that I just mentioned, and also upload their letter. So it will actually be done by the postdoc.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's it.
How many people will be awarded for postdoc?
How many references?
Do you have any code for each category, like engineering?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question clearly. Are you asking number of references, or you're asking how many people we will be awarding?
Oh, I just mean,
Hello? Okay, the line is not
no,
working. Yes.
no, sorry. I mean, each year,
Yes.
approximately how many postdoc awards will be
Okay, we have just launched the program, so I don't have any figures for you even approximately right now. But it depends on a number of, it depends on,
100 or 20.
yeah, it depends on a number of criteria like how much of funding we have available and, various other, depends on the applications we have, number of applications we have. So I can't give you a number right now, but, we all hope to have as many awards as possible. Okay, moving on to the next question. Amy, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yes. I was wondering if GSRA or NPRP grants could hire postdocs or graduate students that also get funded from the GRSA or PDRA funds.
Yes, good question. They can be part of another grant, but of course they will not be compensated through both the awards. So if they already have a GSRA or a PDRA award, then they will not be compensated for an NPRP or a GSRA grant. They could be part of it if that is a situation they would like it and the PI would like it, but they will not be compensated twice.
Okay, is there any limitation on whether they can be KIs or PIs or co-PIs? Is there a limitation on the titles that they can have in the grant?
The postdoc, you mean?
Yes, yes.
We haven't really come to those kind of details since we just launched the program, but I don't think they can be definitely a lead PI. They could possibly be a PI, but once again, they will not be compensated, just to reiterate. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Haifa, Haifa Ali, please go ahead with your question. Haifa, can you hear me? Do you have your question? Okay. Mr. Ali Abdul Hafiz, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, thank you for your informative presentation.
Yes.
My question concerning Hamad bin Khalifa, which is QEERI.
Yes.
Is it a research center or, and I know that it might be a new research center or
right.
a new town for research like Masdar?
It's actually a research institute and it is part of Qatar Foundation. We have 3 research institutes in Qatar Foundation, which is the KIRI, which is the Qatar Energy and Environment Research Institute. We also have the QBRI, which is the Qatar Biomedical Research Institute. And we also have the QCRI, which is the Qatar Computing Research Institute. So these are the 3 research institutes within Qatar Foundation. They don't actually have courses or they don't employ students, but this is a collaboration between HBKU and KIRI to employ these graduate students, the PhD students.
So what if I want to work with one of these research centers, so I should apply to another university in Qatar, or is there specific universities where there is a collaboration?
Yeah, currently HBKU, which is the Hamad bin Khalifa University, has a collaboration with KIRI for this particular program. So there is work in progress for many other research institutes to partner with other academic institutions. Currently what we have though, approved program is only HBKU KIRI in the system. And once you start the application process, once you're registering yourself, you'll be able to choose this submitting institution and register accordingly.
Okay, but I contacted someone at Drexel University and he told me that there will be a plan for a joint program between KIRI and Drexel University. So is it ongoing for this cycle, or it is not feasible to apply through Drexel or KIRI for the joint program right now?
Which institute you're talking about? Once again, not KIRI. Which is the university you're talking about?
It's Drexel University.
Okay.
Material Science Program.
Where is this university?
Drexel, it's in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Right. Well, currently, the program, the way it is structured now, is that the academic institution will have to be inside Qatar. So you can only apply for this program if the university is inside Qatar, and then you can, of course, the university program could be collaborating with any research institute.
Okay, so thank you.
You're welcome. Isam Mustafa, please go ahead with your question. Isam? Okay. Mr. Zakaria Al-Mutawakkil, please go ahead if you have the question ready.
Okay, thank you so much for the
Yes.
presentation. As a PhD student in my third year,
Okay.
I wasn't able to attend the presentation from the beginning, but I'm wondering about the appropriate timing for me to apply for the PDRA, and when if I'm granted this grant, when I would be able to join either Tunuk or Qatar University to start work.
Okay. Where are you a PhD student now, if I may ask?
I'm registered. I'm officially a PhD student in France.
In France, okay.
In France.
Okay.
But now I'm visiting PhD student at Carleton University in Canada.
Okay. So the first thing for you to do would be to identify where you want to be in Qatar, which institute. For the postdoctoral research award program, any of the registered submitting institutions with us are eligible to apply. So there are many academic institutions, research institutions, and even some private sectors which would be able to, accommodate you. So it's really up to you to identify where you want to be in Qatar, which institute. Go ahead and apply and identify a mentor, and then you can go through the submission process anytime. So once you've submitted, depending on when you submit, if you are done with the submission process before the 22nd of January, which is a deadline to be considered for the first cycle for PDRA, then of course you will be an applicant for the first cycle. Or if you manage the submission a little bit later, then we will be considering you for the second cycle, which will be announced in October. So once we have announced, you can join as soon as you can get all the visa processes done and ready.
Okay, thank you. Now I have ties with researchers in and one faculty member in Tunuk. So I'm planning to apply. Prepare a proposal with this faculty member.
Okay.
And then I was wondering, if I apply now, if I defend my thesis in inshallah September 2014, I should submit when it is preferable to submit my proposal.
Okay, if you haven't yet received your PhD at the time of award announcement, you should be receiving it at least within 9 months from the date of award announcement. That is our eligibility criteria if you look at the RFP in detail.
Okay.
So
and
if you are,
submit,
depending on that, you can calculate and see when.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.